There seems to be a move towards delaying the sentencing of Donald Trump, given the Supreme Court's recent ruling about immunity. That probably is not surprising, but Judge Juan Merchan will review the request to pause the sentencing, which has been made by Trump's team. And given that both the prosecution and the defense agree to the delay, it's possible that the judge will grant it. And the postponement would give Trump's legal team time to argue that the Supreme Court ruling impacts his conviction. The problem, of course, is that Trump himself was quite defiant in court and quite garrulous about the judge and about the legal process. So the judge, I don't think, will be minded to be friendly to Trump's plight. And Trump's lawyers are expected to submit their arguments by July the 10th, claiming that the Supreme Court ruling undermines the basis of his conviction, and the prosecution will then have 2 weeks further to respond to these filings. The exchange will therefore lead to a judicial review, further delay. And Judge Merchan will need to determine whether the Supreme Court ruling, which states that official actions taken as a president cannot be used as evidence in cases concerning unofficial actions, whether that ruling has any bearing on Trump's case. Because while Trump's case was primarily involved in Trump's private affairs, of course, the official actions as Trump as president came into the court case hearing and coloured the court case hearing. So this could involve detailed legal arguments and possibly additional hearings, possibly a retrial, possibly an abandonment because of the confusion about the validity now of anything that was discussed in court that has a bearing on Trump's role as president. The delay in sentencing means it's more likely that Trump will not be sentenced before the Republican National Convention starts on July the 15th, and that could influence the political dynamics and Trump's ability to participate fully in that convention, particularly in the shadow of Biden's very weak performance in their debate the other day. And it is astonishing because Biden, once the Supreme Court had made its announcement, Biden was bouncing up on the podium looking the picture of health. The outcome of this case could set a precedent for how the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity is interpreted in relation to other legal matters involving actions taken outside the official remit of a president, but it provides a recipe for a presidential role in the United States which is much closer to monarchy. And it's a worrying precedent for a country which boasts that no one is above the law. Now someone is. And that's the President of the United States. It means, frankly, if this is pushed back and applied retrospectively, Richard Nixon should still be in power, or would have still been in power. There would have been no Ford presidency. And the judge's decisions, it comes down to one man's decisions, will be fascinating in the coming weeks and crucial in determining not only the next steps in this high-profile case, but what happens in the election. This judge is in a position to imprison Trump, to take him out of the election, or to put him in house arrest, which would take him out of any form of canvassing, any form of electioneering. so much power is in the hands of this particular judge, and now there's a question about the Supreme Court and that ruling, and it's about whether or not the law is more important than the person in the White House.